Alright. Hello guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is episode 5. That's 10. This is episode 5 of my Singleness series. If you've been here before, then welcome back. And if not, then welcome. This episode is going to be about when you love someone, but you feel like God is telling you to let go, to walk away, to lay it down, whether it's a relationship, friendship, whatever. But that's what I kind of want to get into today. So let's go. Oof, this is something that I have truly dealt with more times than I'd like to admit. To be honest, it's been a constant struggle, and sometimes it wasn't even people that I was like dating per se, but even sometimes just people that I was talking to or were, getting like, deeper and deeper like connected with. What's funny is it's usually not in the beginning, or maybe in the beginning I'm just like so caught up in like the excitement, or like, oh my God, it's a new connection, and oh my God, like, things, when you're starting something new, a lot of times it's exciting. But usually, sometimes it takes time to get to know people, to see like, is this person supposed to be in my life? Do we really connect deeply? Especially, in the areas that matter to each of us. Sometimes you don't know right away. Sometimes it takes you getting to know the person for a little bit. So for me, it would always be like, right when I was like really starting to connect, our relationship or connection started to grow deeper, that would usually be when God would kind of be like, nope, not happening. And let me tell you how frustrating that is, because sometimes you don't even know why. Like, sometimes you'll literally be like, but God, like, it looks so nice, it's shiny. Not it's shiny. Like, sometimes you don't see any like necessarily like red flags, or sometimes you do, and then that's that too, and that's a whole nother topic, red flags. Whoop. But yeah, sometimes you'll be like, but God, like, things are going well, it seems like it's a great connection, seems like a great person, I want to see where this goes even further. But sometimes you just feel like that strong conviction where you just feel like God's saying like and that, oof, y'all, it's such a struggle. It's so difficult, because you're just kind of like, sometimes you really just like want what you want, and when things don't look bad, then you're kind of just like, I don't, like, why would I let this go? It's, it's doing something for me. But I also want to say, when I say like you hear God telling you no, I kind of want to explain that. It's not like he's like in your ear like, no. It's nothing like that. For me, I pay attention to signs and just like how I feel. So for me, some signs I would get would be like, I would hear a sermon and it would convict me in a certain way, and it would make me think of that person, or something in that situation, like, and it would just speak right to it. Because usually, like, if it's gonna be a no, like with that person, I usually like will feel a little something, and sometimes I don't know whether that's like, okay, am I just being like a little fearful, or just guarding my heart, because that's what I do. I guard my heart until I feel like I know, or until I feel like I feel safe enough to let it down. So sometimes I have trouble differentiating if it's that or if it's like a check in my spirit. But that's something that I think with time and with saying no, and seeing God show up later, or seeing why God was saying no, I think that I've kind of like learned to like stretch that muscle and understand what is what now. But yeah, it'll be whether it's a sermon, or sometimes it's really just a feeling that I get, and I'm just kind of like, and I pay attention to like little details. So I'll kind of just be like, ooh, they did this, and that may have showed that their character may not all the way be right, or pure, or their intentions may not all the way be pure. Like, I just like pay attention to a lot of stuff, which can be stressful sometimes, because then sometimes I just overthink stuff. But I would rather have that and then just have to like reel myself back from overthinking than to not have it at all and just be out here like free for all, like, woo. Because no. Another way that I would know if God was saying no is he speaks to me a lot of times through dreams. Like, hold on, let me tell y'all, if I get a snake dream about somebody, it's donezo. Gotta go, gotta get out of here, I'm fleeing, I'm out of there. That is one way that God shows me if someone's for me or not. I literally be getting snake dreams with snakes in them. And like the only times that I've ever had dreams with snakes in them was when and usually it's like I already am like a little apprehensive or a little unsure about somebody, or this connection that I'm making. I be getting snake dreams, and I'd be like, wowzers, there it is. That's how he speaks to me sometimes, with the snake dreams. Let me know if y'all get snake dreams too, or like any type of dreams like that, because I be getting them, and that's how I know it's time for me to go. Okay, why am I dancing? All right, so Yeah, or sometimes it'll just be like random people giving me words out of nowhere, or like I really value my family's opinion, specifically my siblings. They know me very well, and so they just, I think they all kind of, you know, observe. And I think one thing I will say is I think it is good sometimes to have people outside of you observing the situation as well, or, you know, just like you're letting them in, not you know, telling them all your business, but like maybe letting them in a little bit, people that you trust, so that they can kind of, you know, give you their perspective or insight as well. People that you trust. I mean, not saying tell everybody, but I think it is important to have that, because I think that sometimes, you know, when we all like excited and in love and stuff like that, we just don't really, you know, we're in it, so we can't see the whole picture. Sometimes it's easy to miss stuff or just, you know, just kind of like push stuff to the side because we're excited, we're interested, we're intrigued, we're loving this, we like the way it makes us feel. So it's very easy to just kind of like glaze over. Maybe not like red flags, but like, you know, whatever flags in the middle. What, pink flags? I don't know. But yeah, so I think that's important. But for me, it would just kind of be like, the evidence would kind of be everywhere. Ooh, another way is I'll wait if I'm waking up like a lot in the middle of the night. Because let me tell you, this girl loves her rest. This girl can sleep. She loves to sleep. Sleep is amazing. It makes me happy. It brings me joy. And I really do sleep through the night for the most part. So if I'm like waking up with anxiety in the middle of the night, that's another sign. These are all my signs. These are how the Lord speaks to me, tells me that something's not right. And so when those things happen, that's when I know it is time to maybe not even necessarily just dip immediately, but maybe just take a few steps back and evaluate and pray. But how I was able to truly let go in those situations, oof. Well, you guys, earlier on, I would try and ignore it. I really would try and ignore it, because I would be like, well, I want what I want, and I don't see any like crazy red flags. Some of them really were red flags, but it's very hard for me. And at this point, I think I can say I can't even do it, to be honest. But it is so hard for me to know these things, like know that God is telling me no, and to stay in something. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I feel crazy. The lack of peace is out of this world. Like, I feel horrid. I feel terrible. It drains me. Like, I feel like sometimes I like can't function. My conviction is so strong for that. At that point, it is better for me to leave the situation. It's better for my mental health. It's better for everything if I leave the situation than me staying. Even though I love this person, I want to stay. I want this to work, but not more than I want my mind, my mental and physical health, and just to feel well and at peace. I really value my peace. I also really just value the call that God has on my life. I didn't always, but I think now I really value that. I really value being in alignment. And if something is, you know, pulling me away from God or pulling me, you know, further and further, it's not worth it for me anymore. Now that I know what true peace feels like, and now that I know what being in alignment feels like, the thought of like continuing to say yes to something that I feel like God is calling me away from feels crazy to me. Like, why would I make myself ill? That's what it feels. It literally feels like I'm ill. Like, I legitimately be feeling like I'm sick to my stomach. I can't sleep. And this, it's just too much. Feeling like that for a person to make something work is not worth, it's just not worth it for me, if I'm being honest. So those things, I guess, kind of really drive me away. And I know it's hard. Like, I don't want to make it seem like it's not hard, because it is. And I think that that's just something that I had to learn. And sometimes I had to learn the hard way. It would be like I stayed in something too long, to the point where, you know, because sometimes, like, you know, I feel like God would ask me to leave, and I'd be like, but everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. Or like, nothing's like really wrong. Even if it's like a little wrong, it's not like anything nuts. I can kind of, you know, turn a blind eye a little bit. Or sometimes it was like, I really don't understand why you're telling me no. It would literally be like I don't get it. So yeah, sometimes it would be that. I've had times where I have stayed though. Even after all these confirmations that it's probably time to exit, I would stay anyway, and then I would find out why God was telling me and that feeling is not great at all. I would be so sad. I wouldn't have regret, because I think sometimes for me, I needed to learn the hard way. Sometimes I was really stubborn, and I just like wasn't gonna listen to my better mind. I just wasn't gonna do that. Honestly, when you learn lessons the hard way, sometimes they stick a little bit better than when you just avoid the situation altogether. Not saying do that, But for me, I know sometimes I had to learn it for myself rather than listening to people. You know, in hindsight, I would be like, well, dang, you know, like if I would have listened to this or followed my gut, then I wouldn't have gotten this hurt. I wouldn't have, you know, gone so deep into this, and now look at me and now look at the situation, and it's just, you know, it's a mess. So there's that as well. I think that, you know, that taught me to listen to my gut. Call it what you want. My gut, the Holy Spirit, you know, I think they're all connected. That taught me just how to value, that inner voice, and making sure that I do follow those signs, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to be super sad. And I also just don't want to be in a situation that I'm not supposed to be in, because I don't want to like delay myself. I don't want to delay certain lessons. I don't want to delay certain just things that God wants to do, because I want something so bad that I'm desperate for it, that I'm willing to forego how I feel on the inside and what I feel like God is speaking to me just for that thing. Like, I don't want to ever want something that bad. I think that is, I personally, I just don't want to ever want anything so bad that I'm willing to kind of like risk it all for it. Because I care and I value my purpose. I value God. He always knows best at the end of the day. We're always like, man, I should have listened. But I'm like, I don't want to be someone that's like, man, I should have listened. I want to listen. I want to get it right. So, you know, I think with those things in mind, you know, and just those different scenarios, you know, feeling the lack of peace, not resting and this and that, and, you know, being around the person, it just doesn't feel, and sometimes it doesn't even feel like it used to. Once you start getting those convictions and having those convictions and you feel like God's saying no, it don't even be feeling the same. And so it's like, what is there really for me to hold on to, you know, because it's not even what it used to be. There's also, I think, something in, I care about this person enough too to know that if I'm feeling off about it, and maybe they aren't, I still think it's important for me to exit, because then I'm not wasting their time. And I just believe that people should be with people that they feel at peace with. I don't, you know, so I don't want to rob them also of whatever connections and people that God's trying to send their way, because I'm holding on, but also knowing that I don't feel good about it, if that makes sense. I gotta care about me, the other person, and really just the call of God on my life. So that's kind of how I am able to make my exit when it's time to go. And it's definitely not an easy thing to do. So if you really, really love someone, and, you know, and it could be, or, you know, you're just making a new connection, but you feel like God's like, about it, you know, I'm just praying for you that you would, you know, that he would give you the strength to be able to let go, that he would give you the language, because that's another thing sometimes. Confrontation is something that I'm getting better at, but I don't love it. It's not my favorite. I wouldn't say that we're friends. I would also be like, I would care so much about someone's feelings, so sometimes I would really delay it. But I also think that caring for their feelings is also being honest, you know, and I don't think you have to be so rude and be like, well, God said you ain't the one, so goodbye. Like, you know, I think there's a kind and the caring way that we can do it that is respectful and that won't just like rip their heart out, for sure, but it is necessary, you know. So yeah, I'm just praying for you if you're going through that, because it's probably something that we're all gonna have to go through at some point. Like, I don't think we can avoid it. Yeah, those are my thoughts on when you love someone or are connected to someone that you know you're really, really enjoying or interested in, and God is saying no. I would just encourage you, go with your gut. Pay attention to the signs. Just pay attention to how you feel also, and the different things that are going on around you, how your body feels sometimes when you're with somebody. And, you know, just paying attention to the signs are just very, very important with this. Okay, had to turn my camera back on for this one because I had already closed everything out. One last thing I want to say. If you are unsure what God is saying about your relationship, about your situationship, whatever it is that you're in, the best thing to do is to lay it down. You know, with tears in your eyes if you have to. I think that when you surrender it, I think God speaks. And I think that it shows how much you value what he thinks about it and what he wants for your life and his purpose for your life. So another way to know if you're just like, I don't know how I feel, I don't know, I'm not hearing anything, I don't know, lay it down. And I think lay it down really just means like, God, if this is not what you have for me, then I'm gonna be okay with it. And sometimes you might pray that, don't even really mean it. Can't tell you how many times I've had where I've done just that. And that's really become my prayer, period. Like as of period. As of lately, like, God, if this isn't for me, I'ma be sad, yo. Like, I'ma be sad, yo. However, if this is not for me, then I trust that you have better for me. Sometimes you want to hold on to things because you're like, especially if, you know, like me, if you've gone through it several times where you feel like God, it's constantly been like, no, 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 no. Then you're kind of just like, well, God, like, is there ever going to be a yes? But for me, I'm like, he has made everything happen thus far in his proper timing. Like, things that I thought would happen earlier, you know, they took time, but I've seen them happen. I've seen them come through, and every time that, you know, it manifested, when I could see it, when it was here, I was always like, I understood why I had to wait. I understood that the character that he was developing within me, and just, you know, just the different things that I needed to have before these things could truly manifest themselves, and truly I would be able to truly see them or lay hold of them. So I think for me, it's like, that no is not, it's never gonna happen for you. The no is, this is not it. There isn't it. There is something for you, but this is not it. And I just know that his plans, his promises, you know, all the people that he's gonna bring into my life, you know, the relationships and the friendships that he's gonna bring into my life, I trust that they're gonna be better than what I thought for myself. And I trust that I wouldn't have to settle for what God had for me. If that was what God had for me, I don't think he'd be telling me no to it. So that means that there is something that he's gonna say yes about, and I'm just trusting that what he's gonna say yes to won't be something that I feel off about or I feel a lack of peace about. I will feel peace, and there'll be confirmations everywhere that it is for me. That's just something else that I wanted to say before I got on up out of here. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you come back for episode 6 of my Singleness series. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.